Hi, friends. On this very special episode, to celebrate the 2-year anniversary of my channel, we're gonna revamp my very first video and revisit the Octarius War. This time complete with audio in not just one, but 2 ears. Wow! How exciting! But before that, Tabletop Stronghold. I can't think of a more fitting sponsor for an anniversary video since Tabletop Stronghold has supported my channel longer than any other sponsor. Tabletop Stronghold makes high quality carrying cases for your precious minis. The signature Mag Case 2.0 is both super tough and super convenient. Fitted with easy swap metal trays, you can securely store your minis with magnets. And if you want to take a different arm of your list, you can easily swap out trays or rearrange to fit your needs. The case holds a ton of minis thanks to the modular design, and you can rest assured that your minis are safe on your trip to your games. Right now, they're running their spring sale with discounts up to 35% off. So it's a great time to get a Mag Case 2.0 or their MDF terrain set. Hell, why not get both? They have a bundle which offers the best savings. And there's free shipping to the USA, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand, and most of the EU. So be sure to check out the link in the description and get yourself a Mag Case 2.0. Anyways, let's go back to the past and talk about the Octarius War. Hi, friends. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most iconic events in all of 40k, and also a huge lesson in foresight. Today, we'll discuss the Octarius War. So, first off, you might ask yourself, what even is this Octarius thing? I'm not familiar with all these nerd words. I have a life. Well, Octarius is just a large sector that was mostly controlled by the orcs, and there's kind of a New York situation where Octarius' capital world is called Octaria. And that's important since it's home of the Overfiend, leader of the Octarius Orc Empire. Now, the reason that Octarius became the hellhole we all know and love is mostly because of a little guy named Phidias Cryptman. Cryptman is an inquisitor belonging to the Ordo Xenos and was one of the Imperium's leading experts on Tyranids. He assisted Ultramarines during the First Tyrannic War, so he got to experience their interest in the galaxy firsthand. So when High Fleet Leviathan began destroying worlds, Cryptman devised a plan to stop them. Cryptman pulled a Russian in winter and called in exterminatus on every planet in the Tyranids' path, killing billions. However, the Tyranids didn't listen when Cryptman said that Mom told him that it's his turn on the Xbox and the exterminatuses only serve to slow the bugs. So Cryptman devised a whole new foolproof plan. And by foolproof, I mean proof that he's a fool. Cryptman knew that the Tyranids' unending numbers and adaptability would only be matched by the orcs. Both Xenos factions are notable for getting stronger, proportional to the number and strength of their opponents. Tyranids gain strength when consuming biomass and are able to bioengineer better bugs when they fight stronger opponents. Similarly, orcs grow bigger and stronger relative to how much they fight, and the more formidable their opponent, the more powerful they become. So, of course, pulling a Godzilla and pitting the two in a giant, unending battle totally makes sense and wouldn't lead to any consequences at all. And also, this is how I like to think that Cryptman deals with all of his problems. Pardon, Inquisitor Cryptman. We've prepared your lunch, but unfortunately some mechanic has handled it and has become heavily irradiated. Oh, that's quite alright. I'll just put this cyanide on it and that should kill the radiation. So, to kick off his schemes, Cryptman commanded some Death Watch teams onto the planet of the Carpathia, which, to my utter disappointment, is not a fish planet, in order to capture some gene stealers. He then put these gene stealers onto a space hulk bound for the Octarius sector and turned the old hunk of junk into the world's largest carrot on a stick. He then casually blew up a moon and played the waiting game. Not too long after that, the space hulk arrived above the orc-controlled planet called Orok, which would kind of be like if we named the planet Human. Then, from the atmosphere, Tyranids dropped a ton of mycetic spores, leading to a lot of spore-on-spore violence. The orcs were caught off guard, but they still fought hard. However, it wasn't hard enough because the orcs were defeated and turned into biomass for the Nids. R.I.P. Orok. Due to Phidias' fiddling, the orcs and the Nids became the ultimate power couple, where they empowered each other and elevated their partner to new heights, effectively making Cryptman the ultimate matchmaker. As long as you ignore the constant abuse and violence that the two inflict on each other, of course. But with that, Octarius became a ticking time bomb in which the winner of the war will be a mega-powered menace ripe to, in technical terms, wreck shit. the Tyranids continued their process of dropping spores, dropping orcs, and taking biomass throughout the sector. However, the orcs began to fare a bit better, putting the Nids at a near stalemate since the orcs and Nids were producing troops at nearly the same rate and had a nice average KD ratio. Along with the main combatants, other factions joined in hopes of third-partying the hordes and getting an easy Vicroy. Khorne forces closed in to capitalize on the bloodshed, Imperials felt they needed to at least try to fix Cryptman's blunder, and other factions fought to prevent future catastrophes. Although they were on the back foot, the Orcs began to secure some big wins. The Orc Overfiend was able to kill a Swarm Lord, and Cool Kid Gaskell came to the party and brought it back to life. However, the party was short-lived as Gaskell's ADHD fired off, and he decided there weren't enough chicks at this party. Chicks being new and interesting guys to kill in this case. So, he left to seek other enemies. Then, the Hive Mind made a bigger and badder Swarm Lord and went for round 2 with the Overfiend. Unfortunately for the Greenskins, the Overfiend was bested this time and had his cunning brain brutally eaten. Afterwards, the Orcs pulled a 12th century Catholic where a bunch of war bosses claimed themselves to be the new Pope, Overfiend, and this inevitably led to Orc infighting, and the Tyranids were able to get the upper hand and pretty much win the war. Now, Leviathan is bigger and badder than ever, and they even got a starter box with the Ultramarines, perhaps the biggest honor in all of 40k. Even more surprisingly than that, they actually beat the Ultramarines on Okram from the 10th edition campaign. And if that doesn't show their power, then nothing will. And with that, that was the Octarius War and the official Crack Duck Anniversary Special. I hope everyone enjoyed this fun remake, and let me know if you'd be interested in me updating more videos down the line. I likely wouldn't do them one-to-one like this, but it'd be fun to give them a revamp. I also don't want to pull a Disney and pump out a ton of remakes constantly, but there are some topics I covered early on, and I'd like to try my hand at another time. But with that, let me know what you think about the Octarius War, and if you think that Cryptman is a smart fella or a fart smella. For me personally, Octarius holds a special place in my heart because it was the war zone of the Kill Team 2 launch box, and that was the first tabletop game I truly got into, which is also why I picked it for the topic of my first video in the first place. Anyways though, a humongous thank you to everyone who supported me these last 2 years and have helped me bring the channel to where it is today. It's been an incredible 2 years, and it's absolutely awesome to read about how many people tell me that my videos have helped them get into the hobby that I love so dearly. So, thank you for watching, and thank you to all my awesome patrons. You're all very epic, and you help the channel a ton. And as always, please like, comment, subscribe, and consider sharing to all your humongo brain inquisitors. Thanks! The epic clash between the Orcs and the Nids is only matched by the constant battle in my heart over the cringe I have for the original Octarius video and the love I have for it for being my first and the start of the channel. I think you should still watch it though.